Welcome back to the channel and happy readathon day! I am so excited. First of all, I officially have 100 subscribers, which is crazy. I know in the grand scheme of things, 100 subscribers is usually not a major milestone, but it is to me, considering that I really thought the only people watching this channel would be my mom and my fiance. So I am just so excited, and I just love having a platform where I could just talk about books and do bookish things and find this little tiny community that we've been building. So today and tomorrow, I am doing a 24-hour readathon. It is I have a lot of books here because if you've been watching our book hauls, I've been buying a lot of books and I need to read them. So I do have a spinner wheel. We do have our first book because it's what I'm currently reading. I'm currently in the middle, literally right dab in the middle. Some love for the bookmark. I'm currently reading Pole Position, and this is we have a 4-time world champion with a rookie. He has to be on the same team as this new rookie who's really cocky and arrogant and really full of himself. And is fully throwing off our world champions mantra and vibe and just general well-being. So it's a bit of a it's definitely enemies to lovers. It is forced proximity because they're forced to be friends because of PR for the team. They had a really bad interview in the beginning where they pretty much just fought the whole time. And yeah, it's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. We're starting to get a little bit of the romance. It is a slow burn, but there's a lot of tension, and it's really good. And I'm really enjoying it. So this will be our first read of the day. Okay, options. We have quite a lot of options because as I said, I have been buying books. I brought a lot of books for this trip. Connor, who he will be joining us at different points in this. He's at work right now, but he will be joining us tonight. Gave me a book to read. So okay, so we're starting with the first 2 books of the Andy Carpenter series. I have not read these. I've been reading them in a random order, but Connor's grandparents have gotten into the series per my suggestion, and they let me borrow the first 2. So it would be nice to actually read these while I'm here, so I can read them because they're actually really hard to find. Like the first couple of books in the series, I don't really expect these to be that good because from what I remember reading the beginning of David Rosenfeld is that he definitely has gotten better over the years, but we have these 2. A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic, A Pirate's Life for Tea. This is the second in Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. Very excited for this one. Problematic Summer Romance, Allie Hazelwood's newest book. I also have Tea You at the Altar, which is the 3rd book in the Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. If this comes up, I will obviously read the 2nd book, but I guess it's just there on the spinner twice then. Cross the Line, another Formula One romance. The Bookshop Woman, this might be a good option for a bit of a, well, it's a short book. I don't know if, we did a translation in my last 24-hour readathon, and it took me a lot longer than I thought it would. I still loved it, but it took me a lot longer, so maybe not the best, but if it comes up, it comes up. I'm still excited for it. The Man Who Died Twice, which is the second to the Thursday Murder Club. The Baby Dragon Cafe. The Spell Shop. There's a lot of cozy mysteries. Cozy fantasy here, which I love. I'm definitely in the mood for that right now, so. We have the Murderbot Diaries. I just read the first. This is volume 1, which includes the first and second book in the series. It's one of Connor loves the series, and he did have me read the first book last weekend, and I really enjoyed it. I give it 3.25 stars, I believe, and it gave quite a cliffhanger, so I want to read the second book. So that's what's on um this. And this one is short, so it might actually be a nice like little palate cleanser compared to the bigger books. Uglies. And what I'm assuming will actually be a palate cleanser at some point is Twilight graphic novel volume 1. So I do know that there obviously is like the second volume that has Edward's face on it. So I don't actually know if this just cuts off in the middle of the story. But we shall see. That being said, let us spin our wheel. Let's spin. Why am I so scared? I want to read all these books, but still. See You at the Altar, which means we are reading today A Pirate's Life for Tea, because this is the second book. I can't read To You at the Altar until I read the second book. So I'm super excited for this one. This is Kyanth and Reyna are on the hunt for dragon eggs to save their hometown, but it requires making a deal with Diarn Arlon, Lord of legendary Nasern River. Simply capture the river pirate Serena, who's been plaguing Arlon's supply chains, and bring her for justice. Easy peasy. Begrudgingly, the couple joins forces with Bobby, one of Arlon's constables. How the hell do you say that word? Constable. Yeah, I was right. It just sounds weird. Okay. Begrudgingly, the couple joins forces with Bobby, one of Arlon's constables, determined to capture the pirate. Except Bobby and Serena have a more complicated history than anyone realized, and it might jeopardize everything. While Kyanth and Reyna watch this relationship wreck from afar, it quickly becomes apparent that these disaster lesbians need all the help they can get. Luckily, matchmaking is Reyna's favorite pastime. The dragon's eggs may have to wait. Ooh, I'm so excited. I haven't read many pirate type books, but I loved the first book in the series, so I'm excited. But for now, first of all, this is already a very Pride Month TBR that we have. Gay Formula One drivers, lesbian pirates. It's gonna be a fun ride. First, we are going to finish Pole Position before I get into the cozy fantasy. And as we know, Apple is weird and does this whole 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. It's fine. I've done 2 other 24-hour readathons, which I will link the playlist. But yeah, for both of those, we finished with like an hour or 2 hours left, depending on like I just couldn't finish another book. This time I want to do the entire thing because this is a celebration, and like I'm feeling really good. This is the first time I'm doing it in the middle of the week rather than the weekend. In 3, 2, 1, start! Oh, we started! Okay, let's get reading. little reading update. I have 21 hours left, so I've been reading for 3 hours now. 3? Yeah. 3 hours. I am 86% through this book. I'm on page 314, and there are around 350 pages, 360. It's really good. Wherein we had our third act breakup. We're in our resolution, and I am feeling pretty good that there's like still a goodish amount of pages left. It seems like there actually will be some positive resolution, not just a quick like resolution. But I'm really enjoying this. I am actually really enjoying. So Connor and I were talking about this book yesterday, and he was saying that like obviously I'm reading it for the romance, and the fact that it's surrounding F1 is just a bonus, and correct. And he was saying that he would want in these types of books the races to actually be affected by the relationship, and they are in this book. I will say that the author does a really good job in which when things are negatively affecting them in the relationship, you are seeing that performance on the track, and you are seeing moments in which like if someone crashes, oh my god, is it him? Like what's happening? Moments of like that concentration being shifted because suddenly you're racing with your partner. You're in this high impact sport, high, very scary and dangerous sport with your partner. So I think that there is a pretty good balance actually between the races and the romance. Obviously a lot of this is following off track because that's how a romance book has to work. It's the same with any sports romances. Obviously, like for example, in a hockey romance, you're going to have little bits and pieces of the game, but you're mostly going to be following it off ice because they can't show everything. You can't watch and you can't read an entire every single game for a season. Same way you can't read every single Grand Prix for the entire season. I would love that. If anyone wants to make a book about that, I will be reading it, but for what it is, I'm really, really enjoying this book. Don't know where I rate it so far. I mean, I still have to finish it, but I'm pausing for a little bit. I'm going to walk over to, there's a garden center cafe kind of thing, a mile and a half away. It'll only take me like 30 minutes to walk, not even, like maybe, I walk a mile in 15 minutes, so 25-ish, whatever. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm gonna be bringing my next book as well because I definitely will be finishing this very shortly. And then when I come back, I will give a full my final thoughts for this and start explaining the next book. So super excited. Gonna go over maybe for some lunch. Not sure. Reviews online did say that they are very good with lunch, but we shall see. I'll vlog some of it so you can see it at least in like a movie montage mode. So I have 1856 left of my 24 hours. Gonna be doing a lot more reading tonight. I did have to stop for a bit to actually get some work done for my job. Pirate's Life for Tea. I have no thoughts yet. I am only 6 pages in. I didn't get too far. Obviously, I did not get too far into this, but very excited to read this tonight. I was struggling so much to try to remember who some of the characters were, just for me to realize that they're in a completely different city than the other book took place in. So we don't know these characters. Like, obviously we know the main two characters, but we don't know a lot of these characters. So all of my like racking my brain trying to figure out who these characters were, we don't know them. It's fine. So now knowing that, I'll get a lot further in this. I was just very confused. Finished pole position, I ended up giving this a 3.75 stars. I think that this is a really enjoyable romance. I did have some issues with it. I think that there was a little too much like hot and cold with the romance, and while we use therapy to explain away a lot of it, I would have liked to see a little more progression of that and not just like jump to when everything is like fixed and sunshine and rainbows. Also a couple of the Formula 1 things just really didn't make sense. My biggest complaint, and something that I still don't understand, is that he is a 4-time world champion in the beginning of the book. That's Kian. He's 4-time world champion in the beginning of the book. He just won his last and 4th championship, and all of the press suddenly, without being fed this by anyone, thinks he's gonna retire this season, that it's gonna be his last season. And then that turns into the only thing that people ask him about, which I don't understand. If he has won for 4 years, why he would just suddenly retire, or like why people would suddenly think that. I mean, think in real life you have Hamilton, you have Alonso, like they even mention Alonso in the book. Like, Alonso is a character in this universe, so he's 40 something, he's still going. Like, I don't really understand where like that rumor just came, and it just followed us throughout the whole book. So, and then there was a couple of things about like people know the seat orders, the seats for the next year by like the end of summer latest. And this was like the last race of the season, and they're still like, "Oh, I don't know where I'll be next year." And I'm like, "No, but you do, because you have a contract, and the contract usually expires around like September-ish. So you need to, like, the team's not, it's not just the 3 months. Like, the team is doing a lot of prep work before that as well. Like, so yeah, those are my complaints. Other than that, I really enjoyed this book. Super, super happy with it. We have a special guest joining us for this portion, and you probably hear him chewing.
Diana tried these and didn't like them, so they're mine now.
I got them from the farmer shop at the garden center that I went to. They have some nice stuff, but I don't understand British snacks or desserts. There was a lot of things that I didn't know.
Or food in general.
Yeah.
You saw a chalk menu board and couldn't translate it into American.
It was like written out, and I got overwhelmed. Then I had fries, and then I made my stomach hurt. But it's fine. This is a special segment because we're doing, well, I'm not doing anything, but Connor has his first unboxing.
Yes. So, for those who are tagging along in the story,
the sci-fi story.
Yes. I picked up, we went to Waterstones, and I got 4 books off my list. Did I get 4? I can't remember now. Yes, I got 4. The other 2 are over there. I have literally just finished the first book of the I almost threw it at you. I did throw it at you. Foundation was the first book that our spin wheel decided that I should read. The next one that is also in that group, because I'm doing them in 6 groups of 3, is Starship Troopers, which I'm going to start soon.
This is for the Timeless or Time to Go series. I'll link that.
It is indeed. So I got You already had a copy of Frankenstein.
Yes, that I don't
So,
want, so you can have.
out of the 17 books I had to buy, we got 4 from Waterstones,
Mm-hmm.
3 from a local secondhand bookshop.
3 or 4?
3.
Okay.
Because I ordered the remaining 10. 4 plus 3 plus 10 is 17.
Okay.
From eBay.
Yes.
And some of them have arrived. I don't know how many are actually. Oh yeah, there's more than 3. There may only be 1 book each in this, but this one is pretty thick. Unless I ordered a book that's really long without realizing.
Well, to be fair, they might come tomorrow, so you might.
Oh, they're probably going to be coming every day for the rest of the week.
You might have another segment in tomorrow's episode, tomorrow's continuation of this challenge. So
yes, potentially. So yeah, I'm going to open all these. I tried to pick. I got them all off eBay because, as I said in another video, I like secondhand books. It's like you're giving a second life to something. So yeah, the remaining 10 books cost about £50 all in. So at £5 a book, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna open all these. I have to open them carefully.
For my Americans watching, that's about $7 in freedom units.
Yeah, so I'm gonna open these. I have to open them pretty carefully so I don't dox myself, because Jesus. Well, oh, the package is not even visible on the camera.
It's fine. You're gonna. It's fine.
Okay.
You can rip it open and then
I was right. There are 2 books in here. Okay.
Oh, that's such a pretty cover.
Yeah, I knew this one was going to be pretty. Okay, Dune is a bigger book than I thought.
Yes, it's a very big book.
And it's also a trilogy. But look how cool that cover is.
I like this one.
Yeah. Okay, the only things that I know about Dune is Timothée Chalamet's in the movie.
So is Zendaya.
Okay, I know 3 things about the movie. And there are also Big Worm.
I don't know what that means.
Big Worm. And you can kind of see on the cover.
Ooh! Before The Matrix, before Star Wars, before Ender's Game and Neuromancer, there was Dune. The greatest sci-fi novel ever written.
Okay, well,
what a claim!
I will personally see about that. But yeah, Big Worm is on the front. Can you see?
Oh, that's what that thing is. I was going to ask if you know what that thing was.
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Okay, well, I like it either way.
Yes, but the colors are really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Dune.
Okay, so Connor is going to continue this segment on his own.
On my own?
On his own, because I have to go for a work meeting. Do you want to move to more of the center?
Potentially. Although I like people thinking that you've abandoned
My
us
voice.
and that your space is. I'm gonna have another biscuit. Oh. Okay. Like I said in earlier videos of this challenge, a lot of the books in this series have been made into movies or TV shows and so on. And I don't think I've actually seen any of them, except for Blade Runner, which I started but couldn't get into. Sorry. That also applies to Dune. I only know 3 things about it, and I haven't seen it. So we're just going to read the back here, because I don't know anything about what it's about. The Spice Melange. Is this supposed to be French? Is the rarest and most valuable element in the universe. It does everything from increasing a person's lifespan to making interstellar travel possible. Okay, well that sounds like a MacGuffin. See, I know things. And it can only be found on a single planet, the inhospitable desert world Arrakis. Well, that's not going to last forever, then, is it? Whoever controls Arrakis controls the spice. See where this is going? And whoever controls the spice controls the universe. When the Emperor transfers stewardship of Arrakis from the noble House Harkonnen to House Atreides, the Harkonnens fight back, murdering Duke Leto Atreides, Lady Jessica, Duke Leto's concubine, that means mistress, flees into the desert with their young son Paul. I don't like the name Paul. Anyway, where they are rescued by a band of Fremen, the native people of Arrakis. The Fremen control Arrakis' second great resource, the monstrous worms that burrow beneath the burning desert sands. In order to raise an army to avenge his father and retake Arrakis from the Harkonnens, Paul must earn the trust of the Fremen. Is that supposed to be Freeman? It's only spelled with one E. And lead a tiny army against the innumerable forces aligned against them. His journey will change everything. Okay, that actually sounds kind of cool. We'll see how it goes. Next book. Okay, from the esteemed author Michael Crichton, we have The Andromeda Strain, a thriller that shook a nation. 5 prominent biophysicists give the United States government an urgent warning. Sterilization procedures for returning space probes may be inadequate to guarantee uncontaminated re-entry to the atmosphere. Oh no. 2 years later, Project Scoop sends 17 satellites into the fringes of space in order to collect organisms and dust for study. Then a probe satellite falls to Earth, landing in a desolate area of northeastern Arizona, in the nearby town of Piedmont. Bodies lie heaped and flung across the ground, faces locked in frozen surprise. The terror has begun. That sounds cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Michael Crichton is the author behind Jurassic Park. So yeah, an author that I enjoy the works of. He's a very good storyteller. So I'm gonna like this book. I'm really in the mood for some actual sci-fi because, let me be honest, started the series off on a low note. Very political, very heavy on religion. Not a whole lot of science apart from the whole thing is set in space. So yeah, sorry Isaac Asimov. Not a huge fan immediately. We'll see how it fits into the final ranking of this series, but right now, not too good. That is these 2 books. Yeah, pretty excited to read both of those. So, let's see what's in here. Oh, that sucks. Okay, here we have Ender's Game, another book based on another book that was turned into a movie that I haven't seen. Unfortunately, this book has a sprayed edge. Fancy schmancy. Hi, Lozano. I hope you enjoyed reading this. Author's Definitive Edition. Hugo winner, Nebula winner. Okay, let's see what it's about. Intense is the word for Ender's Game. Oh wait, no, that's not what it's about. That's a review. I don't want to see that. Okay, it looks like there is no blurb on this book. I don't get to know what it's about. We'll see. Not really inspiring. Ew, and there's a sticker on here. I don't want that. I really should have. That should have been included in the description, that it would have that on it. That sucks. Anyway, let's not get bogged down. What's in this one? There could be 2 books in here. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Oh my god, there are 3 books in here. Fancy that. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay, we have 3 books in here. First of all, we have 1984. A very, very famous book, which is now becoming banned in a few places. I actually don't know what it's about, to be honest with you. Winston Smith works for the Ministry of Truth in London, chief city of Airstrip 1. Big Brother stares out from every poster. The Thought Police uncover every act of betrayal. When Winston finds love with Julia, he discovers that life does not have to be dull and deadening, and awakens to new possibilities. Despite the police helicopters that hover and circle overhead, Winston and Julia begin to question the party. They are drawn toward conspiracy, yet Big Brother will not tolerate dissent, even in the mind, for those with original thoughts. They invented Room 101. Oh, I've heard of Room 101 as well. Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes. Look how cool this cover is. Look at that. Very pretty. There we go. Okay, what we have next are 2 books that I have literally never heard of, but they were included in a lot of best sci-fi books lists, and a few were shouting out on Reddit. This book especially, The Left Hand of Darkness. That's a pretty cover, isn't it? Look at that. And there's no blurb on the back. I hate it when books do that. Why would you just put reviews on the back? Like, that's not going to tell anyone what to read about it. Oh wait, hang on. The story of winter, an Earth-like planet with 2 major differences. Conditions are semi-Arctic, even at the warmest time of the year, and the inhabitants are all of the same sex. Tucked away in a remote corner of the universe, they have no knowledge of space travel or of life beyond their own world, and when a strange envoy from space brings news of a vast coalition of planets in which they are invited to join, he is met with fear, distrust, and disbelief. Okay, so there kind of was a blurb on the back. Diana will cut that out. No, she won't. She wants to make me look stupid. Yeah. We'll see. Does that mean everyone on the planet is a woman? I don't know. Oh well. We will find out when I eventually read it. This is a nice small book, very pocket-sized. I like that. Okay, and what we have next is another pretty cool cover. Look at that. This is The Drowned World. There's a little bird on there. Look at that. In the 21st century, fluctuations in solar radiation have caused the ice caps to melt and the sea to rise. Global temperatures have climbed and civilization has retreated to the Arctic and Antarctic circles. London is a city now inundated by a primeval swamp, to which an expedition travels to record the flora and fauna of this new Triassic age. That sounds pretty cool. Sounds a bit Jurassic Parky. That's nice. Okay, well, we will see how that goes. So, all in all, another 6 books to add to my collection of sci-fi all-time greats, and we will see if they truly are timeless or time to go.
Welcome back to day 2. Warning. I'm definitely gonna be doing a 3-day reading challenge. I don't know why I thought I could do it in 2 days when all my other two 24-hour readathons I've set to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that just works better for me. But we're gonna read as much as possible today. We have 18 hours left. I'm reading A Pirate's Life for Tea. It is the morning. Connor and I did read for about like an hour 45 last night. No, like maybe an hour. Yeah, this book is, I'm really enjoying it so far. But I was just reading so slow last night. So we only read for like an hour and I just got so tired that I asked if we could go to bed. But yeah, it's a new day. It's still super, super sunny out. So definitely will be going outside at some point. We'll be staying home today, though, not going on any more adventures to garden centers because that was a far walk in the heat, which is what made me so tired. I'm just really excited to jump into this more. I hope you all enjoyed Connor's unboxing. He's probably gonna have another one tonight because I think he has books set to come like all week. We got a lot of them yesterday, but I think more are supposed to come today. He's gonna reorder one of them that had like writing on the side of some assuming kid's name. And gonna put in a negative review for that seller because that was not mentioned in the listing. But other than that, we're starting. It's 7:50, so in the morning because Connor literally just left for work and I am unfortunately already up and ready to go. But I'm excited to read this book, so let's get into it. We have our favorite couple, Kyanth and Reyna. They are away from the tea shop and they are, well, they were going to capture a pirate, but now they're kind of working with that pirate. A lot's going on. Still getting, they have some plans that I'm not privy to yet. So when I do learn what those plans are, I will know why they have suddenly helped a pirate escape. And are now working with her when their whole point was to capture her. But I'm really enjoying this book, and it's a lot of fun. So you got books.
I got books. Yes, I think there are 3 in here.
There's definitely 3 in there. I can feel them.
Okay. Little Miss Expert Book Feeler.
You can move them around.
Yes, I know.
It's only a poly mailer.
Yeah, that's how I know there's 3. They feel kind of thin, which is weird. Why is it? Okay. Somebody double bagged this.
We're
Why not?
wasting plastic.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, so here we have War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
That's about the size of my Frankenstein. The like slightly taller but smaller font.
Yeah, this book is probably the shortest one of the series. Apparently, it's only 129 pages. This story has been turned into TV shows and a movie. It's actually a Tom Cruise movie. Would you believe that?
He's done everything, so yeah,
Yeah.
kind of do.
Yeah, and this cover looks pretty cool. I like the sketch.
I really like that. Also, the back cover is cool. It has the
Well, yeah, it's just a grayed out version of the front cover.
Mm-hmm.
No one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century that this world was being watched keenly and closely by intelligences greater than man's and yet as mortal as his own. That as men busied themselves about their various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied, perhaps almost as narrowly as a man with a microscope might scrutinize the transient creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water.
How do you read a paragraph in one go out loud without, like, I have to stop like 20 times when I read a blurb in the back.
Yeah. I don't know.
It doesn't connect to my brain when I'm reading it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that sounded really nice.
Thank
Maybe it's
you.
just your accent.
Yeah, this is this is one of the oldest books in this series.
Someone didn't get far. There's a dog here on page 3.
The second page is dog-eared. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, this is a 2013 edition though, so
yeah,
that's cool.
I just wanted to check when it was written. It doesn't say. That's okay.
I'll edit.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Then here we have Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
I also like that cover.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty abstract. Vintage Classics is the series.
Is that part of the group that you're reading right now?
Yes. Yes, this is the last remaining book from Group 2.
So that's actually your next book.
Yes, this will be my next book after I finish Starship Troopers, which is really, really good so far. So this one is far in the future, the world controllers have created the ideal society. Through clever use of genetic engineering, brainwashing, and recreational sex and drugs, all its members are happy consumers. Bernard Marx seems alone in feeling discontent, harboring an unnatural desire for solitude and a perverse taste for the pleasures of compulsory promiscuity. That's a bit sus. Bernard has an ill-defined longing to break free. A visit to one of the few remaining savage reservations where the old imperfect life still continues may be the cure for his distress. Okay then.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Then you don't need to read a little more to understand, but
yeah, I feel like there's a branch of sci-fi I'm discovering that is like where future society is all like controlled and stuff.
Mhm.
So this one, which is this book, and 1984 are all going to fit into that kind of subcategory. And to an extent, I think Foundation might as well, because it's very sort of political and stuff. So we'll see. Foundation I didn't really like, but we'll see how these ones go. Now this we have here is a book just called We.
I really like the cover as well.
Yeah, this is a nice cover.
They really have, I will say, like, one thing about classics is that they make such beautiful artwork for them.
Yeah. So this is by Yevgeny Zamyatin.
That was good.
Thank you. Oh look. There's a review on the back here. The best single work of science fiction yet written. The review is by Ursula K. Le Guin, who is also the author of one of my other books.
Do you know which one?
I think it's Left Hand of Darkness, but I could be wrong.
Who's the author? Ursula. The Left Hand of Darkness.
Le Guin.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I was right. That's cool. A little crossover. Set in the 26th century AD, Zamyatin's masterpiece describes life in the regimented totalitarian society of one state, ruled over by the all-powerful benefactor. The inspiration for George Orwell's 1984, We is the archetype of a modern dystopia or anti-utopia, a great prose poem detailing the fate that might befall us all if we surrendered our individual selves to some collective dream of technology and fail in the vigilance that is the price of freedom. Yeah, I also I'm making a note of when every book was written and how and when the edition I have was published.
Mm.
Because as I've said, I like secondhand books, and I think it's really interesting owning something that's that old. Not that it's that old, but it's like it's a book and it was first published a long time ago and someone else read it and now I read it. In the same way that when I was a kid, I used to like go through my parents' like loose change and stuff to try and find which coin was the oldest. Because like, whoa, that coin's from like 1980. How crazy is that? That's older than me.
Let's get some updates. First of all, I stayed up last night. Connor went to sleep. He left me. But we have exactly 10 hours remaining. We're going to be finishing today. It is 8 a.m. So if we read for 10 hours straight, it will be 6. But we know that's not going to happen. It's not going to. I'm not going to read for 10 hours straight. So, we're going to finish tonight. And Connor's going to stay up this time because it's Friday and he doesn't have work tomorrow. So no excuses. I'll make him stay up with us. I finished last night A Pirate's Life for Tea. Hold on. I got to text Connor. Okay. Last night I finished A Pirate's Life for Tea. And I gave this book 5 stars. I love this book so much. This is one of the. I usually don't rate series this high. I gave the first book in this series 4 stars. And this book, honestly, it's the second in the series, but there's a note in the beginning from the author that please note this is a novel. Please note that this novel is intended to be a sequel to the first Tomes and Tea novel, Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. However, as this quartet is mostly episodic, you can definitely understand and enjoy this book without reading book 1. So I definitely recommend reading them in order because it just adds to the story and some things do make a lot more sense. But because each book is kind of like its own episode, there was a whole plot contained in this book. The whole pirate plot was self-contained. And it actually did solve our main problem from book 1 that was carrying on, that I thought was going to carry on through the whole series, but apparently not. It is self-contained within these 2 novels. So I really like that. I don't like that sometimes, and I understand this, especially with longer series, like you need a kind of a filler book to just move the story to the next place. I get that, but I really, really liked that this was a story in its own. So 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Cannot wait to read the next one. To You at the Altar. I hope that I don't get it on the wheel spin right now because I do like to sit with this series. I want to sit with this book a little bit before jumping into the third book. I do have it with me, so it could come up, but I have a lot on the spinner wheel. So we got to spin to find out what we're reading next. So what do I want? I have a lot of cozy fantasies. I don't really know if I want another fantasy. What have I read what have I read? I just read a cozy fantasy and I read a romance this. Yeah, I think I'm really open for anything. I would like a short book, but I got a couple mysteries on there. I don't know why I do these, like, spinner wheels, the dice thing. Like, I don't know why I don't just choose my books for these kind of challenges, but I digress. Ready? Set. Spin. These are all books that I want to read. A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. That is another cozy fantasy, which I love. Also, it's on my TBR for the month, and I'm actually doing really good for once on my TBR. I had A Pirate's Life for Tea, pole position, and a book that I read before this challenge, The Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teacher Association, which is also a cozy fantasy. Um, okay, A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. Let's go grab that one. That's another sprayed edge. First of all, I will say, just looking through, this font is looking a bit better and a bit bigger than this book, because this book took me ages because the font is so small. Ooh! See, I love cozy fantasies because we always get this. Well, not always, but a lot of times we get this full art page in the front, and I'm assuming this is our couple for this one. Okay, let's see. She doesn't need to have magic in order to be magic. In the heart of Edenshire, where elvish enchantments and dwarven delights rule, Ewan Baker, Arletta Starstone, works twice as hard at perfecting her unique blend of baking with apothecary herbs. So when her orc neighbor and biggest fan secretly enters her creations into the prestigious Langheim baking battle, Arletta faces a dilemma. Being magicless, her participation in the competition could draw more scowls than smiles, and if Arletta wants to prove her talent and establish her culinary reputation, she'll need more than just her pastry craft to sweeten the odds. Though Arletta may not yet believe in herself, she makes her way to Lanheim with the help of a very attractive woodland elf and competes. On a journey with mouth-watering pastries, self-discovery, heartwarming friendships, and potential romance, Arletta will have to decide whether winning the baking battle is the true prize after all. But win or lose, her adventure is only beginning. Okay, so I'm super excited, especially because there is a quote on here from it's been blurbed by the author of this book. So how exciting is that? Rebecca Thorne said, "Filled with so much love, heart, and delicious baked goods, this cozy fantasy has secured its legacy in a genre dedicated to quiet moments of comfort." So you know what? I'm even more excited now. Also, there's recipes in the back. So what do we got the recipes for? Salted brown butter chocolate chip cookies. Okay. Classic. We love it. Lemon bars with cardamom shortbread crust. Fancy. My mom would like that. And Earl Grey cherry scones. I think my mom would also like that. Very, very, very exciting. This is also a series. It looks like it has 3. A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons, and A Fellowship of Games and Fables. I think it has 3 in the series. I could be out of date with that, but from this book it looks like there are 3 in the series. Four expected publication this year, Curses and Cats. So there's going to be 4 in the series. We shall see. um yeah, I'm super excited. So let me stop stalling and let's crack into this one. I am so excited. I love cozy fantasies. See the reason that I'm like apprehensive to read my cozy fantasies is that like I got a lot of them for my birthday. Um, but it's a newer discovery of mine, like just this year really. So I don't have that many on my TBR. So if I read all of them, then I don't have any more. But books are meant to be read, and TBRs are meant to be read. So I can't just hold them I need to stop like holding on to books until like the very most perfect moment, because what is the very most perfect moment? If you read a book and enjoy it, you can read a book and enjoy it at any time. Yeah. So that will just motivate me to finish my TBR so that I can get more cozy fantasies. Because truly, I think this is my favorite genre now at this point. It has like everything I want. It has romance most of the time. It's cozy. I love cozy mysteries for the same reason. And I love fantasy worlds. I have since a kid, but then they kind of got like dark because fantasy and it's all about like war and stuff. So I can't read too many heavy ones at the same time. Yeah, I'm done yapping. I'm ready to read. Just wanted to give a bit of an update. I have 8 hours remaining. It's 11 o'clock, so we're getting later into the night. Of when I'm gonna be finishing this. But I have 8 hours left, so I've been reading for 2 hours. I read in here and then I went outside and read. Um, but I am back to my normal pace, so I am on page 116. I'm like 38% through this book already. It is so good. It's so good. We have we have Arletta, who is a baker, but she's a human. So people don't respect her as a baker because, why pay the prices of just a human when they could get a baked good from an elf, for example, and then it would be magical and theoretically better, but it's not because she's such a good baker and really understands how to use like herbs and natural ingredients um to really elevate flavors. And then we have Theo. Theo is our elf who he got um he got Arletta to actually go to the competition. He brought her invitation after her neighbor um signed her up for the competition, and she got in. She got accepted. Yeah, so he got her to the competition because she was the last person that he needed to drop invitations off for, and was able to help accompany her to the competition to make sure she actually won. And she's doing so good. Well, she's doing good. She's still in the competition. I mean, I guess that's a spoiler, but honestly, like it's a baking competition and we're only this far in, so she's not gonna get out the first round. Otherwise, this book wouldn't exist. But she's in the baking battle, which everyone thinks that she's a wizard because her last name Starstone is a wizard's last name, but she does not have any magic. Her family ended up along the line. Someone was adopted into the family who was human, so now that human has continued. The non-magicalness has continued to be passed down, but the name has stuck. So people think that she's a wizard, but she is not magical. And like creatures that can smell magic know that she's a human right away. But there's no rules against non-human folk. But there's a lot of prejudice against non there's no rules against non-magical folk, but there's a lot of prejudice against them. So she's also dealing with that. But her and Theo, I could send some sparks flying. I think I know where this is leading, but it's still early. She has a little crush, and I'm pretty sure it's reciprocated. So I'm just really enjoying this book. And I just love cozy fantasy so much. And I'm going to stop yapping. This is going to be a quick update because I want to get back to reading. I will say that only having 10 hours left starting this day is a lot better than I usually do on these 24-hour challenges. I usually start with a lot more than 10 hours on the very last day. So I am proud because I actually have been reading the other 2 days. Update time. I don't actually remember when my last update was, but I have 6 hours and 47 minutes remaining, and my book still is amazing. On page 172. So I read 172 pages today. And the round of the competition that they just had was for cookies. This is a baking competition book, and they made cookies. And when I tell you, it's making me so hungry. So I will share my absolute favorite cookies I have found in the UK. They're kind of simple, but they are Fox's fabulous half-coated milk chocolate cookies. These cookies are so good. I'm so disappointed. There's only like 6 in the package, which is so annoying and so not American because. Oh, actually, I think there's 7, which makes it even worse. Yes, this pack contains 7 cookies, which is even worse because then when Connor and I split it, it's not split evenly, and it's very annoying. But these are so good, and so not American because we would have the like an entire pack, but these are so good. We just got them from Tesco, and we've been getting them since my first trip here, and I bring these on the plane with me, like to go home, and this is like my only snack for the plane, pretty much, because I don't eat like plain food. But I am literally so hungry that I'm not even waiting for Connor to get home. I'm starting this track without him. I will leave him his proper amount of cookies, and I'll even give him the extra one because I'm being nice. But they're so good. It's literally just like a chocolate chip cookie, which they make them with. They have oats in them, which typically I don't like oats, which I know is a very weird thing. I'm pretty sure this definitely has oats in it. I'm not even gonna try to find it on the list. I can taste it. But it's just a regular chocolate chip cookie, but it's then dipped into chocolate for half of it, and it is so good. So, all that update to share, just my favorite cookies, because my book just got a cooking competition, cookie baking competition, and it made me hungry. So, I'm gonna have my snack and continue reading. I have exactly 5 hours remaining. Almost exactly. It's fine. And I just finished A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. And I feel like I just want to kind of talk through my thoughts. I really don't know how to rate it. I think I need to talk through it first. If I was rating this based on just coziness, it would be 5 stars. I think that this came at the perfect time in this challenge because it did feel like a very much a palate cleanser. But there were some issues. The actual baking competition was very short, and I wish that we went more in depth with it. It really would have been cool to really like delve into the competition and like the judging and all of that, and not just be like, so and so, move on to next round. I saw this in one review, and I really have to agree with it that there was foreshadowing to like what was supposed to be like a major reveal, but the foreshadowing was more of like a punch in the face. Like if you didn't guess what the reveal was going to be, like you've never read a book before. Um you've never seen any media before. Like it was a very, very obvious reveal. Which it would have been nice if that kind of like was built up a little more. The main male protagonist, he was perfect. Like he was an elf. So he was seen as perfect. He was kind, he was perfect, he could do no wrong. And that was all they showed of him. He was very one-dimensional. He didn't really have much depth. Everything just moved very fast in this book. It was extremely cozy, and like if you're looking for just a book that I think either can like pull you out of a reading slump, or like you just come off of a like super high fantasy, super heavy, sad type of book, this is a really good to like just cleanse the palate and just get something cozy. Remember why we love reading. It reminded me, and I think this is why, like when I was initially like before I started thinking about what I was gonna rate it, my brain was like screaming like 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, which I don't think it's a 5 star book. um I think I'm definitely going to enjoy the rest of the series, and I'm definitely excited to read the rest of the series. But I don't think the first book is a 5 star book, and it kind of reminded me of books that I read as a kid, and not in the sense that it's a juvenile book. Because I do think that it does explore some like heavier it does explore some adult themes in terms of there's mention of death of a parent, just um learning to not push people away after pushing them away for so long, things like that. But it just made me happy, and it just reminded me of why I love reading. And that's the kind of coziness that it was. So that being said, as much as this is not a perfect book, and there definitely were some issues, I did love so much about it, and I think it's good at 4 stars. That feels right. That feels like a comfortable mix um of being critical about the writing and the storytelling, and also like listening to myself and my brain about how it emotionally made me feel. 4 feels like a very solid um place for this book. So, I do need to fill all of this out in my journal, which I will do in 1 second. But before that, let's wheel spin for our next book. And are we ready? No. I have 5 hours left. I don't know if I could finish a book in that time. Um let's just go. I'm so scared. Okay, this might seem like cheating, but I just want to see what else it would give. And I'll explain why. One more time. I'll explain in a second. I promise. No, fuck it. Okay, hold on. I think I'm gonna go with this one. Did I cheat? Technically, yes. Am I sorry? No. Let me explain. So, the wheel has already given me 2 cozy fantasies. and that is simply because there are more cozy fantasies on here than anything else. Actually, there was 4 cozy fantasies on here in total, and it's landed on all 4 of them at this point. But I just finished 2 cozy fantasies, so I think that, and the reason I did not take the Baby Dragon Cafe or Spell Shop is that I don't want to read too many in a row and then start trying to like compare them in my brain or forget individual plots. I think 2 in a row is fine. Now we're moving on to Murderbot, which is a sci-fi. So a bit of a genre shift. That's going to be good. That's going to be good for us. It's okay. I'm cheating. I'm sorry. But it's my game. Sorry. And also these are only based on the books that I physically have here, and I just happen to have a lot of cozy fantasies because I just went on a massive cozy fantasy book haul for my birthday. So, I digress. We have 5 hours and 2 minutes remaining, and let me grab Murderbot so I can explain what that is. So, this is the Murderbot Diaries. There is an Apple TV show about it. Connor and I have discussed this and we've never seen it, but we're not going to. But this is actually one of Connor's favorite series right now. He's read the first 4 books. There's 7. So he's read the first 4 books in like 2 weeks or maybe a week. I read All Systems Red, which is the first book, which is actually, this is a volume 1, so it has the first and second book in it. So I read this book earlier this week. I think at the end of last week I read that because Connor wanted me to try it. And I really enjoyed it, but it came at very much cliffhanger, which I did not appreciate, especially because as I was reading it, Connor knew that it was coming up and didn't say anything. Which, like, yeah, I appreciate him not saying anything, but I was very annoyed at him for how it ended. So, now I'm going to read the second book, which is called Artificial Condition. I'll put the actual cover of just the second book up. And I'm very excited for this one. It is this part, so it's from 149 to 149 to 298. So it's about 150 pages. So it's a novella. So should be good. Will not take me that long to read. Will not take me 5 hours at least. So I'll finish this in this video, and we'll have at least one more wheel spin. But I think this is good. I think this is a good change of pace from all of the fantasy, because you need some variety in your life. You can't have just the same thing over and over again. I would do the same thing if I got too many romances or too many of whatever genre. So I'm not mad. I actually am really excited to read this, and then we will do another spin. So let me get through this and I will catch up with you guys either when I have some sense of what is going on. Actually, first of all, let me read this description. On a distant planet, a team of scientists are conducting surface tests, shadowed by their company SupplyBot, a self-aware sec unit that has hacked its own governor module and refers to itself, though never out loud, as Murderbot. Scornful as humans, all it really wants is to be left alone long enough to figure out who it is and to watch its favorite shows in its downtime. But when a neighboring mission goes dark, it's up to the scientists and Murderbot to get to the truth. Also, where did I read the first one? Here's why I keep a book journal. I rated the first one 3.5 stars. That was All Systems Red. This pretty much follows a self-aware, neurodivergent robot who is really socially awkward and really just wants to be left alone and complete their special interests. One thing that I did think is interesting, so about the first book, or just like in general about Murderbot, is that Murderbot is genderless. It is stated in the book that Murderbot is genderless. Also does not have any genitalia. So really completely neutral, uses it pronouns. Or they just call it it. I'll say they. Um but when I first started, now you don't find out about that until about like 30 pages in. So when I first started reading it, I saw Murderbot as a man or as a male. Interestingly, when I was explaining that, when I was talking about it, I was using he, him pronouns because that's just how I saw Murderbot. And Connor, interestingly enough, went, "That's so interesting." Before I found out that it was genderless, he thought that Murderbot was female and was using she, her pronouns. So I think that's just really interesting. And I really, we're doing great in terms of Pride Month. In terms of this readathon, we've had, um, what have we had? We've had pole position with our gay and bisexual Formula One drivers. We've had a Pirate's Life for Tea with 2 lesbian couples. A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic has gay orcs that are her like parent figures. Um, and Murderbot is genderless. So we're getting a real diverse cast of individuals, and I really like that. And I think it's why I'm enjoying reading all of this right now, because it's fun to read not the same cookie cutter thing over and over again. So I'm enjoying this. I am gonna work on my reading journal a little bit. I still love this page. And it's getting more colorful because I'm actually reading my TBR for once. And A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic was actually on my TBR for this month. So that's 4 out of 6 books. I think that's the best I've done on a TBR all year. But then I'm going to read about my little neuro spicy robot. I'm excited. I also don't know if this is interesting, but I'll go through my post-reading journaling, what I do. First. So right now I don't have access to my printer because I'm in a different country. So I'm just writing. There might be some spoilers on this page, so don't actually read if you even read my handwriting. But I'm just writing what books they are, and then I'll print them out when I get home. But first I do my little review. So it is literally everything I told you. So I'll just skip this. Okay, so just my little review. Just how I felt about the book. I don't really go into detail, but just the vibe. Then I go all the way to the beginning because I like to do the review first so I don't actually forget. But I have to update my reading goal in my pinkish red color because this was a physical book. This is actually book number 29 that I have finished this year, and I am so proud of how I have just kind of skyrocketed past my goal the last week or so. So that is that. It is not a 25 and 25, so I have nothing to fill out on this page. It also is not part of the page by page project, so I'm skipping this page as well. It is a series though, and I've had to actually extend my series tracker by adding in a page. It's a new series though. There are 3 books published. So I'm only gonna go with 3 boxes because I don't put books that have not been published yet, even if they have all their publication dates and are ready to go, because you just never know. You never know, and it keeps, and this is just how I do it. So I have that added and added a color for the first book in the series that I have read. Next, this is my every day that I read, at least one page gets tracked. So it is the 20th, and I have read a book. Well, I've read and also finished the book. So I will color it in now with the color for the month, which in this case is like what I would consider like a violet. I don't really know what violet is, but this like pinkish purple is like my best guess at a violet. It's not the end of the month yet, so I cannot do anything with my bracket challenge. Books hauled. I have hauled this book this year, so I can add that now. And actually, this pretty much matches the edges pretty well. Well, this one matches better. So I'm going to use this to color in the book because I like to use at least the general theme. And when they do sprayed edges, that just makes it easier for me because I know what at least they intended. So, the book is right there. A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. I'm actually doing very well out with reading the books that I've bought this year, and it's mostly because of this challenge, but it's fine. And then I get to add it to the books that I have finished, and this is actually the end of the first page, but it's going to go to the second, so I've made an error. I messed up my rating. My journal is not perfect, but this does annoy me. Maybe I'll see if Connor has some whiteout, so I could just cover up this last little bit, but it's 4 stars, not 4.5. Damn. I don't know if this seems like a lot, but I do actually really enjoy this process. I go to my monthly, which is right where I have my review, but I don't do this part until the end. So first I'm going to grab that color again and actually color in on my TBR. Kind of made it a little harder for myself. I'm not the best at like coloring inside the lines. I know that's like a skill you learn in like kindergarten, but I've never really had the patience. And I don't really like coloring, but I made this cake like each layer is like wiggly because I want it to be like a cream or whatever, or like a filling. So I kind of made it harder for myself, but it's fine. Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. And then finally, I take this one more time and add to my calendar any days that I've read it. So just one mark on the 20th because I read it in one day. And I am definitely, I could tell, gonna need to add another page to this to extend my my TBR. Not my TBR, my books read for this month because I'm definitely gonna go over the one more line that I have. So that is my process. I will cut this down tremendously because that was 10 minutes and you don't need to watch me do that for 10 minutes. But I just love my reading journal and it makes me so happy just going through each month and seeing what I liked, what I didn't, when I stopped reading, when I continued reading. So this has been a very good month for me. I've read now 8 books, which is the most that I've read in a month this year. It's probably going to stay that way because I don't expect another month like this. But you never know. And I'm just really enjoying what I'm reading and just devouring books. So it's his time for Murderbot. Welcome back.
Hi.
We have 4 hours and 17 minutes remaining. Are we doing this together?
What time is it right now?
This will finish at 11 o'clock.
I'm sleepy.
Already?
No, not already, but I don't know if I can make it.
Come
on. So if we started reading right now for 4.25 hours straight, we could be done at 11.
Yes.
I can't read that long straight.
I mean, you could scroll for a bit.
Oh yeah, I don't actually have to read it all. This isn't even my fucking job.
It's more of just, are you going to stay up with me?
Okay, I think I can stay up with you.
Okay.
I thought I had to. I don't know why I thought I had to read the whole time as well.
No, it's not your challenge.
No, it isn't.
I mean, you could go take a nap and wake up in 4 hours. So Connor, you got another delivery.
Yes. This is technically the last book of my collection. However, as I said last time, I'm getting another copy of Ender's Game because Lozano got to my first copy before me. Damn you, Lozano! So yeah, I already know what this one is. It's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. What?
42! I know one fact about it.
You know one reference. Ew, why does it have a stinky plastic cover?
Because it's a library.
Huh.
You would take the plastic cover up.
I will, but I feel bad. It looks like somebody sold a school library book.
The school itself might have gotten rid of it.
Oh.
That does happen as well.
That sucks.
There you go.
Thank you.
Good as new.
Hmm.
Yucky cover.
Yes.
Why are there people? Is this the movie version?
Yeah.
Do you not like this edition?
No, it's okay. I thought this was turned into a movie, but I've never seen it. Yeah, this is the.
We're so away from the camera today.
Oh Jesus!
Oh,
This
fine.
is the movie edition, which has pictures of the characters and stuff from the movie. I had no idea that this film appears to star Martin Freeman as the main character. He plays Bilbo in The Hobbit.
Oh, I do know who that is.
Yes.
Okay.
Damn,
it's kind of crazy when people like star in two different franchises, isn't it?
Yeah. This had Zoe Deschanel in it. Oh, Bill Nye.
The science guy?
No, the actor Bill Nye.
Oh.
John Malkovich. And Warwick Davis, who you won't know. Cool. Yeah, I believe this originally started.
Oh yeah, withdrawn from library, so you're fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was originally a radio show before it was written as a book.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then it was a book, 1979. Film tie-in edition, which is this, 2005. Huh. Yeah, because I was only thinking about this earlier, because I used to watch, I have no idea which DVD it was, but some DVDs I used to have had an ad for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in the beginning before you get to the menu. And it was that exact font as well, but I always skipped the ads, so I never actually knew technically if there was a film or not.
I'm gonna leave this because there's some damage underneath it.
Thank you.
So we'll just cover that up.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a cool alien.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is a book with history. That's kind of cool. It hasn't been edge sprayed by Lozano, thank goodness. That's going to become a reference in this channel.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, technically speaking, that is my collection complete.
It means you can start the books.
Yes. Yeah, I could start any book from any group after I finish group 2.
Which you might finish at least one of those books tonight.
Yeah, I have. I still have to finish. I've read Foundation. I am about 2/3 of the way through Starship Troopers, and then I have to read Brave New World, which is behind the camera.
And as a reminder, I'm reading Murderbot Diaries, book 2 from volume 1, which is Artificial Condition. Our little neurospicy robot has met a friend that he is calling Art for, what is it called?
It stands for Arsehole Research Transport.
That. So, I think they're cute so far.
Oh yeah, they're my favorites.
Is this your favorite book?
Out of the 4 I've read,
Mhm.
I think so. Yeah, 1 and 2 are definitely
Just kidding.
1 and 2 are definitely the best.
I get the vibes that I might like the second one more than the first. I at least understand it now.
Hmm.
Whereas the beginning of the first, I felt like I was playing like catch up.
Yeah, you're kind of dropped right into the first one. It takes a while to pick things up, and because it's such a short book, there's not even a lot that happens. Once you understand things, it's like, oh, we're done already?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was still good. Still a
Mm.
solid start to a series, but
Hmm.
I've never read a series of only novellas, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not huge in the sci-fi genre,
No.
so I'm learning. But I'm assuming from you, I'll have some Rex.
Hmm. And interestingly, similarly to a lot of the sci-fi classics, Murderbot has now been turned into a TV show.
But yeah, discussed us not
Yeah.
watching it.
No, thank you. Don't want to see
I
it.
also discussed how before we found out it was genderless,
Hmm.
I assumed it was a man and you assumed it was a woman.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Me neither. It just gave me man vibes.
Yeah.
Maybe because he was named Murderbot, and I associate men with negative things.
Okay. Cool. But
I went
the
bad men. Done.
but the portrayal of Murderbot on TV is very obviously
A
a
man.
man, because obviously it has to be played by a person with a sex.
I mean, it feels like it would be
But
good to be played by someone who is non-binary. Then
yeah, it should have been played by somebody
at least someone just more
who,
androgynous.
yeah, somebody who looks more androgynous, because
Yeah.
that's what Murderbot is supposed to look like.
Hmm.
Um,
I also think maybe the cover, because the cover, like, I don't know, just the like stature.
yeah,
I don't know. I think in my head like robots are boys.
yeah. I think I probably thought that at the beginning, but then I was like, no, what if it was a girl? Wouldn't that be cool?
You're better than me.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, and just the fact that the Murderbot on TV has styled hair is ridiculously stupid.
I haven't gotten to the part where you said about the buzz cut, but I did assume
Yeah.
that was like
Murderbot, like all security units, their hair doesn't grow. It just stays as like a really, really short buzz cut. But the guy who plays Murderbot in the show, the hair is like, it's first of all it's a fade, and then the top is long enough to be pushed to one side, and it looks like it has gel in it.
I'll insert a photo.
It's just like, no, that's not how that works. And personally, I think that um, Murderbot's being portrayed by someone who's probably a little bit too old, because Murderbot is a combination of robot parts with cloned human parts, and they're not supposed to like age or anything, and you would expect the human parts to be grown to their peak physical condition slash age. So I feel like it would make sense for Murderbot to look like mid-20s or something, but it looks like it's played by someone in their mid-30s. It's like, no, that just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway, let's get reading
yes,
because we got a long night, and the more
yeah,
we talk,
yeah,
the longer those 4 hours are going to take.
yeah. I also just want to point out, when I talked about this book, when we were first talking about, whenever I first mentioned this in the series, I believe I might have said that this book is a satire of anti-military stuff. That was actually incorrect. I'm going to correct myself on that. I was getting confused between the book and the film adaptation, which I haven't seen, but I've watched a video essay about. So I know that the film is a satirical take of the book. The book is actually pro military, almost to the point of it being propaganda. It's like pro war pro-violence.
Well, from what you told me, it sounds like the movie is a complete just opposite of the book, not even
Yeah,
satirical.
yeah, it's supposed to be, well, it's not opposite because it shows pro-war stuff, but
Oh,
exaggerated to such a ridiculous degree that you can tell it's supposed to be sarcastic or satirical, right?
got it.
So yeah, um, the book is pro-war. The movie is supposed to be anti-war through satire, and I think I got that the other way around whenever I first talked about this.
That's Connor has just finished his book. I have just finished my book. That actually was pretty good timing.
Mm-hmm.
We only had like 5 minutes difference. Um, we officially have 1 hour and 56 minutes remaining, and I am gonna call it that we are done with this readathon. It has been a very successful 22 hours, and I can't finish a book in 2 hours. So this feels like a very good stopping point for this challenge. I have, however, completed 4 books during this time. Please ignore Connor. He is making notes about his book. I finished Pole Position, A Pirate's Life for Tea, A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic, and Artificial Condition. Um, Artificial Condition, I ended up giving 3.75 stars. I'm very mad at the decision at the end, once again, by Murderbot. This is the second book that I'm disappointed with him at the end. But I did really enjoy this one. I enjoyed this one more than book 1, which is why it got 0.25 higher. But because these two were only novellas, there are longer books in the series. But because these two were only novellas, it felt like by the time we actually like really got started, it was over. So that's what knocked it down a bit of a peg in my book. I just wish it was more fleshed out. So, over the last 3 days, I have read 1,053 pages, which is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on Wednesday, on day 1, I read 274 pages. Day 2, 333 pages. And today, I read 446 pages. That is a lot. And I had an average rating of 4.125 stars, which is really good. I am super proud of that.
You expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Did you have anything to add? How was your first experience doing a readathon?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I finished Starship Troopers.
You also technically finished the other book in this 3 days.
Yes, technically I finished Foundation at the same time, and I'm now starting my third book from Group 2, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I don't know how you pronounce his first name, I'm sorry. And I'm actually not going to start it today, I'm just filling in my little makeshift book journal to contain my thoughts about each book as we go through.
That being said, once again, thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I truly can't believe it. I honestly have wanted to start uh, a book YouTube for so long, but was so scared. And like, I definitely know that I've gotten, at least I don't think I would have been able to even be comfortable talking to a camera if we weren't long distance. Because are kind of forced to talk to a camera at all times in order to have a relationship. So
This is true.
that got me very comfortable on camera, and I think that comes across a lot in these videos.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I cannot wait. What is our next milestone that we're looking for? 500?
Yeah.
All right, at 500, we'll have another. I'm going to be doing a 24-hour readathon before that. 500, we'll figure out something, but I just want to thank every single one of you who has actually hit subscribe. And yeah, I can't wait to just continue growing this channel and to continue growing this little community that we're making.
Indeed.
So, if you're still listening to us rambling, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of those YouTube things. And we'll catch you in the next video.